After reeling from a devastating loss last month, Democrats are finally regrouping, guys. They are back in it, and they have come up with this new technique. It's going to blow your mind. It's probably so good, it's not just going to win them the midterms, but it is going to win them elections for decades to come. What is the new technique, you might ask? Here it is. Their new technique is to be an insufferable Karen, and basically they want you to hate your family. Joy Reid had one of the most hateful tantrums I have seen from pretty much any legacy media host in a very long time. You got to see it. Here it is.
Don't want to have turkey dinner with the people screaming, "Your body, my choice." Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears. Troll amongst yourselves with Elon and leave us alone. You got your heart's desire, the president you dreamed of, and worship instead of Jesus. And this time, you didn't even have to storm the Capitol, smash the windows, or try to kill police officers or issue death threats to poll workers. See? You did it just by voting this time. Congrats. You got your way. And he even got away with breaking the law. Yay. But if you expect the 73 million who voted for the prosecutor, not the felon, and particularly the 92% of black women who voted for Kamala to give you a cookie for your vote, a trophy, a hug, a high five, you might be asking too much. If we want to eat with you, we will. But if we just want some peace over the holidays and we don't want to put up with your trolling while we eat our tofurkey, get over it. Stop acting like we owe you. And for God's sakes, stop whining. It's embarrassing. Our Thanksgiving, our choice.
I don't believe there is a single person in the world I would want at my Thanksgiving dinner table less than Joy Reid, especially that Joy Reid that we saw in that video right there. But I will say this about Joy, and I really mean this, by the way. If Joy were my sister, or if she was my daughter, or my aunt, or anybody in my family, I would still invite her to my Thanksgiving dinner, and I would hope that she would show up. And the reason why is because that's what family freaking does. Because if you let who you voted for to come above your family, you have lost your soul. You have actually lost your soul. It is that deep. Because at the end of the day, the first governing body, the first government is marriage. And out of that comes family. And that family can go out as much as it wants to go. Obviously, it's more important with siblings and parents and children, but it can continue to go out. And so when you have people literally saying, no, because of my politics, I will not show up to the Thanksgiving dinner table, or I will not invite you, what they are saying is that they do not believe that the most important government is marriage or their family. What they're saying, Joy Reid, what she's literally saying to this is the Democrat Party is more important to me than my family. It's like hard to say out loud. It's really dark. But I don't feel that I'm putting words in her mouth by saying that. I really think that's what she's saying. And I actually think if you asked her that, she would essentially agree. She really did agree in that video. And that's why I say that she's lost her soul. Because your family is connected to your soul. And so, again, Christians, this cannot be us. I mean, we cannot make these things. And the good news for Christianity and the church is that this is not us. You just don't see Christians talking about this. Back in 2020, when Joe Biden won, you didn't see Christians saying, hey, screw you, Joe Biden voters. You're not coming to Christmas. It's not happening. No one talked like that. Were they frustrated with their family? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can have political differences. You can even be frustrated. Occasionally, you could even get in a little bit of a political fight. That's one thing. But what Joy Reid is talking about is literally disowning your family because of politics. And again, putting the party above your family. It's very Orwellian. If you've ever read any of George Orwell's books, that is one of the hallmarks of authoritarian governments, is that they put the party above family. You literally have kids telling on their parents and being rewarded by the party. I could talk about Orwell all day, but in any case, it's very real. It's alive today. And I think the reason why Christians are not doing this, they're not experiencing this, I was thinking about this just today, is that Jesus talks about this the whole time in the New Testament. Some of the most famous parables that Jesus talks about, from the Good Samaritan to the prodigal son, is about this. About, hey, whether they're your enemy or you think enemies in the Good Samaritan, right? The Samaritans and the Jews are supposed to hate each other. No, you help each other. You take care of each other. Or the prodigal son, hey, older brother. Yes, the younger brother went and spent his inheritance on riotous living, but you still got to love him. We're going to throw a party. We're going to have the fatted calf out here. It's basically Thanksgiving. And the older brother's a little pissed about it. And the father goes to him and says, hold on, don't be angry. Just simply be happy that your brother is here. And it seems, and Jesus doesn't say, but it seems that the older brother takes the hint, or at least he's supposed to. And so should we. And so I think Christians actually, and I'm fairly critical of us because we make a lot of mistakes, because all of us have fallen short of the glory of God and are all sinners. But I think this is something Christians are getting right, and you're seeing it. You're seeing the Christianity spread in the Republican Party because Republicans just don't disown their family when they vote for someone they don't like. So that's the moral side of all of this. And I don't want to divide morality and politics too much, but I'm just thinking from the point of view of a Democrat, the political side of this is like, how are Democrats supposed to win again with this mentality? Like ever again? Like Joy Reid is specifically saying that she hates you, yet come in 2 years, she's going to probably ask for your vote for the Democrats so that the midterms go well for him. And I'm happy that they're not going to win because I don't think they can win with this mentality, but it's very, very perplexing. And so this begs the question of what does the future of the Democrat Party look like? And for me, I think there's two sides. And if one wins out, the Democrats will probably do very well. And if the other one wins out, I think they're in for a shellacking. The one side is the elites, and the elites are Joy Reid and the legacy media establishment and many others. That's just one part of it. And if they win out, they're going to keep losing because this is the narrative. However, there are the populists in the Democrat Party. And because as a conservative, I'm fairly nervous. As a conservative and as a Republican in the Republican Party right now, it's very populist and it's actually doing very well as that. And so I look at the populist part of the Democrat Party and yeah, it makes me nervous. It really does. But as of now, and they've been very successful in the past, as of now, I don't know if they're going to be able to pull ahead of the establishment ones. As of now, if that is their message, Joy Reid, what she's saying right now, hate your family, hate each other, screw you if you're a Republican, I'm not going to be that afraid. When it comes to protection, men settling for that generic brand with the one-size-fits-all label, go look at your protection, your condoms, guys. It literally says that on them. It does not inspire confidence. It's not going to give you the protection that you want, and that's why I partnered with Caliber. They have 6 sizes to choose from, and they make it very easy to start to know your size. It's the best offer that I've heard that they've come up with, so you're going to want to tune in and listen to this right now. To get started, go to the link in my description right now and order your free sampler. It is completely free. There's no upfront costs, no shipping fees. Like, it's actually free. It's not what other companies say. It's like literally free. You just got to place your order and your free Caliber sampler will be on its way, discreetly delivered to your doorstep. What if it's not the right fit, you might ask? No worries. Let Caliber know within the 2-week trial period and you will not be charged a penny. Like I said, free. And here's the best part. You get that sampler as a gift no matter what. Join the thousands of customers who love Caliber. Simply go to the link in my description below and get your completely free sampler right now. Coleman Hughes, if you haven't heard of him, he is great. And he had an awesome moment on CNN talking about how far left Democrats have gone in the past few years. It's fantastic. Here it is.
Bernie Sanders had no problem going on Joe Rogan years ago when Joe Rogan endorsed him. I've been on Rogan's show 3 times. I've probably heard over 100 hours of it in the past decade. A decade ago, Joe Rogan was a Bernie Sanders supporter who would get emotional talking about how important it is to legalize marijuana, who would get emotional talking about how important it is to get Christianity out of politics, in particular on the abortion issue, who had a host of left-wing opinions, including about healthcare. And liberals drove him away by calling him a racist, unearthing jokes he made, calling him a misogynist, really with no evidence.
When you make racist
calling him
jokes
a transphobe,
about people of color,
calling him a
people
lot
calling
of
you
comedians
racist is likely going to
jokes
happen.
all the time. Calling him transphobic because he didn't like
He
seeing
also didn't
Fallon
love the
Fox
vaccine thing, right?
beating up.
To our point earlier.
That also used to be a left-wing opinion, to be against vaccines like 20 years ago. Again, so he actually hasn't shapeshifted very much, to your point. The Democratic Party has shapeshifted and driven him away and alienated his followers.
I think what he ended up seeing was an American political sphere that shifted, and he found ways. He's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. He found ways to walk into where those people were. Yes, he was a proud, ultra leftist, and then he became a proud person on the right, largely because he saw shifting towards the right, and that's where his money and his audience could come from. He shifted because more of his listeners shifted, and that's where he drove it to.
I don't think
that's nothing more than consumerism at work.
Which of his beliefs changed in the past 10 years? It's really hard to point out which of his beliefs
But can
have
I
actually
zoom out
changed.
from him?
So Coleman Hughes is absolutely correct about the problem that Democrats are inflicting on themselves right now. They're pushing people away. Like, they don't want you to be around them. They actually hate you because they would actually prefer, and again, this is a change in the Democrat Party and something that Trump has done very good of bringing into the Republican Party, which is that they're not for the people anymore. They would prefer to be more exclusive and be like this exclusive elite than the populist party movement, which is what the Republican Party is right now. The Republicans used to be seen as kind of the more aristocratic party in the United States. That is just not the case. I don't think anyone could hardly make an argument for that anymore. If you look at the Democrats, I mean, you got let's just take a second. Who represents the Democrat Party? Celebrities, big tech, billionaires. I mean, this is the Democrat Party. So you look at it, they're not the populists. And for that reason, they're losing supporters big time. But even though, this is kind of the biggest point that I want to focus on, I agree with Coleman Hughes on many issues, many things. He says one thing in this that's actually not quite right. And it is that he says that Joe Rogan has not moved to the right. I disagree. I think Joe Rogan has become more conservative. I know him and Tulsi Gabbard and Elon Musk and RFK Jr. and many people who we don't know their names of. They say that the Democrat Party has left them, that they've not become more conservative, but that the liberals have just become more liberal. That's what they say. And I think that is true. There's no doubt that the Democrats have become more to the left. I don't think there's anyone that could really argue otherwise. But I don't think it actually gives enough credit to the conservative movement. The conservative movement has made some big changes, frankly, spurred on by many individuals. It's not just, I say movement, but it's actually people making things happen. And I believe that those people who I just listed, like RFK Jr., Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, I actually think they're much more conservative today than they were 10 years ago. And I'll give you some anecdotal evidence, and then I'll give you some stats. If you listen to Joe Rogan, he understands and appreciates religion and the family and kind of those core conservative principles in a way that he never did before. You just didn't, I've been listening to Joe Rogan for a long time. If you've been listening to Joe Rogan for a long time, you know what I'm talking about. He's very sympathetic to religion. It doesn't mean he is religious, but I think you can tell that he thinks religion is a moral good, that it does good things. He definitely believes that strong families, the nuclear family, is a good thing. I don't know if he believed that strongly 10 years ago. Elon Musk, for instance, believes border security and immigration law is incredibly important in a way that he just never even talked about before. I'm not saying maybe those beliefs were deep down, but he never talked about them. He was all about green energy, and now he's talking about how important it is to deport illegal immigrants in the United States. That's just not something he would have talked about. And that is very good news, because it means that at the same time as the Democrat Party being stupid and going crazy, the conservative movement did a very good job spreading its messages and its principles. So it's both. The Democrats are moving away and they are moving to the right. And that's a very good thing. And even though people like Joe Rogan aren't necessarily conservative, I'm not saying those are conservatives, they're more conservative than they were 10 years ago. And there's no doubt about it. One of the biggest evidences of this is a good stat. This is really interesting. One of the biggest evidences of this happening kind of more generally, not just talking about, famous people, but the average person who I think is moving more to the right, is the approval ratings for gay marriage. If you look at the approval ratings for gay marriage, in 2012, they were very high, like really high. But if you look today at who approves of gay marriage, it is lower today than it's ever been since 2012. It's never been lower than it is now. And it's because people are understanding the consequences of those progressive policies in a way that they weren't in 2012, because now they're seeing them. They see how gay marriage turned into gender theory. And they're realizing, oh, I don't like that. In fact, it's not just that I don't like it. I'm realizing I actually like the conservative stuff that, say, Donald Trump is proposing. So that's just one example. But thank heavens the Democrat Party has lost its mind. But at the same time, conservatives have also made huge positive waves. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, go down below, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and watch another video.